Hello and welcome to Generation Shadow, the epic supernatural saga that takes you through the entirety of horror history, one nightmare at a time. And this nightmare, fresh from the 80s, is our finale to our 1986 Marybrook, Maryland arc, the great ending for what is going to be the penultimate arc of the entire Generation Shadow show. Very excited, so let's get down to it. Let's go ahead and meet our players. You have some returning faces who have been in it through the entirety of this particular arc, as well as a very cool returning special guest star. So let's start with Marvin. I want to know who you are, who your character is, and how they're feeling as we enter the end game.
All right. So hi, I'm Marvin, and I rediscovered Facebook. Yeah. But anyways, tonight I'm going to be playing the immortal Montalio Igandre, who's currently falling to his death from 20 stories high. He's been falling for 2 weeks now. And during this time, he's kind of had a bit to contemplate his life choices, so to speak. He's not even mad that Mr. Fields just threw him out the window, because Montalio was going to do the same exact thing to him. Yeah, in fact, he's honestly impressed. Of course, this means war, so gotta figure out a way out of this situation, if at all.
There's nothing like being thrown out of a skyscraper to get you thinking about your life choices. Speaking of life, or lack thereof, we have Michael.
Yes, hi. I'm Michael. I'm playing Max King, the vampire. Sorry, I just can't help but think of that as you're falling from the skyscraper, right? It's not the only thing running through Montalio's head is so far so good.
So far, so good.
Right?
Almost got a
Anyway. Yes, I'll be playing Max King today. He's just trying to spread his Kingsmen more and more throughout. He already took New York, working on LA. Or was it LA?
You got LA. I would
LA
say
was first.
I would say LA and New York are pretty firmly in the pocket.
But
Miami's probably like, judging by our last game, it's Miami's going your way pretty soon as well.
okay. Well, he's got his finger in a lot of pies, but also has to try to keep control of the people who do things like Faggot. You can't not watch him.
And go ahead.
And yeah, and now also what's it, Ginny as well. Something's going on with her, and she just seemed off the last time, and I didn't have time to confront her about it, or not confront, but ask her about it. So maybe we will this time. So.
And I will reveal what has called you back to Marybrook in a little bit. And then Patrick sadly had some illness, so hoping he feels better and he'll pop in for our next arc. Definitely get well soon, Patrick.
We'll see you next time, Pat.
Yeah. And joining us once more, we have Nick.
Yep, I'm Nick, and I'm playing Andrew Ionescu, the latest of the Ionescu clan of werewolves, who now has a wolf pack of his own. Although two of them, known as War and Pestilence, are interesting characters.
Well, we're actually, I don't know if you got that, my little Facebook message, but
Yeah.
I think we're going to say War and Pestilence, we're going to do a little retcon.
Okay.
They have gone,
Well,
they
I was going to say that I had like a conversation with them and gave them the choice to whether they wanted to stay or go.
Okay, well they have kind of
So-
taken off perhaps to resume employment with their former alpha. But you do have two new werewolves who came to serve you, who perhaps will serve similar purposes.
Sure.
There's like Spike,
Spike.
who is kind of the muscle, the big guy, the big dog, and then Scraps, who is the very hungry dog, who probably frequents all the fast food stands in Marybrook. The hungriest werewolf at the Burger King.
Next to Famine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, it was War and Famine that were left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but basically, Andrew learned that the four horsemen were actually siblings, and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna let you like mourn the two losses that you had, and like give you a choice of whether you want to stick around or not." So
Makes sense.
yeah.
All right, let me just read the quick introduction, do a real quick recap for everyone's situation, and we'll take care of those opening moves, and then we'll get right into it. All right, so, and of course, this episode is entitled based on a quote from our wonderful President Reagan, "We begin bombing in 5 minutes." Newsletter from the Fellowship of Faith, Reverend Ed Kettle, March 1986. I bid you all a holy howdy, my brothers and sisters, and a warning that we are truly in tribulation times. The Israelites toiling in bondage, our Lord and Savior suffering on the cross, the persecution under the Romans. My current troubles are equal or greater to them all. You know that I recently declared a holy crusade against the forces of evil that have taken root in Marybrook. And this crusade has proven very difficult indeed. First of all, a dear friend, Oliver Mazzie, suggested the true villains, the money lenders in our temple, are Julian Field and Delvers Incorporated. But when we rode against the devil, he struck back. Field utilized his contacts in the government to direct the efforts of the IRS against the Fellowship. I will not lie to you, my brothers and sisters. Their investigation has hit deep. The church's files have been confiscated. My private plane has been grounded, and I have barely enough cash to keep Angel Land, our holy theme park, running. Additionally, my beloved wife, Ginger Ray, proved to be a Jezebel in disguise and left me. And my son, Calvin, still hasn't come home. But the Lord is still with me and giving me strength. This afternoon, President Ronald Reagan himself will attend a prayer summit at Angel Land. I urge you all to come and make donations. I need it now more than ever. Yours in faith, Reverend Ed Kettle. So, Julian Field, who I think, as we mentioned, had just thrown you out of a building. You are currently in the lobby.
Yep.
And you promised it was a safe keep. It was, you'd be safe, but Field don't keep his promises.
Well,
And-
basically, I have this link with Ochoa, and he was up there too. And as soon as I noticed that there was danger, I got the little ping from the link, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, you definitely know something's coming.
Oh yeah.
Max King, you were out of town for a bit in Miami, perhaps, maybe cleaning up some other mess that these guys caused in their next game, in their last game, I mean.
Last game.
When you received a note asking for your help and asking you to, mentioning that Andrew Ionescu, Oliver Mazzie, as well as the Spirit of Araxacho are going to be in danger, giving you the address of the Delvers Incorporated headquarters. And note for the request was signed only as an old friend. So I suppose you show up to give them some assistance.
Sure.
All right, I'll say you just pull
I'll
up
have
outside.
Have the car pull up.
Ah.
Right.
All right. So with that in mind, let's take care of those opening moves. If I cut you off or anything? Or?
No.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's start with Andrew.
I have the whole kit and caboodle to figure out. Let's do. Excuse me. I don't know, let's see if I can-
Let's see.
Yeah.
We'll try and see if we can glean from power, but I doubt it with my -3. 5.
You do not know what's coming. All right. How about Max?
I know something.
Oh, actually,
I just don't know what.
let's
Yeah.
have you do your werewolf.
Yeah, sure.
Your territory.
Yeah, we'll say that
How are the Howling Heights?
Spike and Scraps are looking after it. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, 6. So things go south, and my troubles are fast and furious.
All right. Well, that's gonna be. You'll see them soon.
Yep.
Okay. How about Max?
Let's. Oh, the only faction I can investigate right now to actually cross something off would be Mortality. So.
See what they're up to. I mean, Ginger who is Virginia Hill, is in that one.
All right. So yeah, maybe while he was on the way over there, he was trying to set a date or try to find where she was going to be at what time. Her itinerary. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
See if you can get a hold of that. And that is Mortality, so a 7.
Okay. You know she's left the Reverend and she's still in town, but she's otherwise in the wind. And she is still kind of suffering from the possession of the Quilpoth.
Okay.
And how about our falling Egantre?
Well, as Montolio falls 20 stories while the Who's Baba O'Reilly plays, he's gonna make some plans. He's gonna keep his alliance with the Fellowship, but he's going to excuse his leverage on Mr. Fields in exchange for revenge. So yes, choose someone who has, in your opinion, wronged you. The guy who threw me out the window, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
You have them alone and exposed, no matter their holdings or allies. But if I show them mercy despite their sins, I erase a corruption advance. So if I actually do get the Fields, I have to show them mercy.
If you so choose.
If I so choose.
Ooh, well, we'll see what happens there.
And
I'll
for
keep that in
start of
mind.
session machinations, I'm going to be rolling with Wild. Since they actually know me, I feel like we got a good relationship. Maybe they'll be able to help me out with Fields once this whole falling to the ground thing rolls out. So that's a 10 with Wild.
Ooh.
So on a 10 plus, your plotting pays off. I take a debt on someone in that faction or a useful piece of information.
Or equipment.
For this one, no equipment.
So what would you like, a debt? Or useful information? What do you think you would?
Useful information, as in how the heck did Fields actually get the Quilpoth? Or the portal? Well, even. Because we didn't see him there at all.
You're right. This revelation kind of comes to you as you're falling. But you realize it has to do with, like, some of these artifacts that he's been hoarding. And his family has been hoarding for generations. His 7 league boots let him, like, move around super fast. And he probably has all kinds of other artifacts let him stealthily enter even a place of power, like the House of Titania's mansion.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you want me to do the Vamps Web move as well?
Oh, yes, yeah.
I forgot about that one. In which case is, at the start of a session, I can choose someone in my web and learn a secret about them that they'd rather keep buried. So for that, I'll go with, for this arc, I'll go with Montolio, because apparently Montolio owes me a debt. So.
I owe everyone a debt.
So something you would rather keep buried, or keep a secret.
Something I'd rather keep a secret? The way I lose my immortality. You know how I originally lost my soul to Belial? Card game that I stupidly bet my soul on? It's that. I can't resist a card game, man. Yeah, I got a problem.
All right.
Tell no one.
Of course not.
So, another problem is that you're falling to your death. And
Yeah.
we'll start with you, Egantre. What happens?
Well, Montolio's just kind of enjoying the fall. It's not even mad, like I said. It's going to do the same thing to Fields. But I do need to get him back. I want his company. Definitely want that. So are those Fellowship... what was their name? The Fellowship of Mortality?
Of Faith?
Yeah, the Fellowship of Faith. Are those protesters still around the tower?
Yeah, most of them have gone back to Angel Land to welcome the president. Then maybe there's a kind of a rear guard hanging out there.
Dang. Well, some are useful for my services. I think I'm still under Chameleon. They think I'm still a member of their faction. So I'm going to yell to them, "Oh no! Julian Fields has thrown me, Montolio Egantre, out of a 20-foot window! The fiend! Do you see his evil vileness, my brothers? This is what it gets you! And now he has led me to my death! For shame! For shame!" I'm guessing I roll hard for that.
To convince them, or to like splat, or to turn yourself into a pizza?
Convince them to storm the tower.
Alright, roll. Yeah, this is gonna be a persuade for sure.
Cool.
Only the people from like 11 down heard you.
Okay, so 5 plus 3, that's an 8.
Okay. It works sort of well. There's maybe like 5 people out. 4 of them charge the tower.
Dang. Well, that's enough.
So you got a few.
I bet they have phones, right?
I mean, very huge ones, and maybe not all of them do. Well, also maybe the ones here are gonna try and help, but the others, the main faction is probably not gonna. The knowledge is gonna get out to them.
Drat.
Yeah. So, they're smashing their way into the door, like shouting and yelling for their trying to continue their holy crusade. Oh, Yantre, as you did fall, you look up and you see Field opens his mouth. A swarm of the Quilpoth, these like spiky, oversized insects. Just these like featureless sort of holes in reality in the shape of spiny bugs. Swarm out, wrap around Ochoa, and like drag him away to some unknown place.
Oh, crap.
Very,
I wish I could help. No.
Max, you pull up to the curb just as... In fact, I'm going to say, Yantre, do you want to fall on his car?
Well, I have a move that could possibly stop him from hitting the
Oh,
cars.
okay. Yeah, that could be cool.
If that'll... I mean, unless you really, really want to go splat.
I mean, the whole plan was to die, so they get incited, storm the tower, and then I revive, take up a whole new identity, and go on my merry way.
Well, you can still do that. They're definitely not watching you. They're all charging in. I will say you are going to land on his car, unless Max King does something.
Well, I'm going to unleash the devil inside, which is something he picked up way before Vegas. In which case, hopefully it's enough. Yeah. So.
Whoa.
With blood, that's a
lot.
14. So I get to choose 2. So for that, he'll gain demonic movement. In this case, being flight. And let's go with +1 armor. And he'll just fly up and catch the falling Montolio, even if it's just before he hits the ground.
So it's basically... Crud. What happened? Oh! Hi, Max!
By the time you notice, the wings are probably going back away.
These giant bat wings.
But of course, now he needs a new jacket.
Yeah, thanks for ruining my plan.
You're welcome.
No, that's meant as sarcasm. I was supposed to fall.
Why?
So, it's believable. I mean, if they don't have a corpse, they don't have evidence against Fields.
Do you want me to throw you back up and let you splat? I mean, I can do that.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Or we could.
I mean, the cat's kind of out of the bag
Or
now.
we could just go back up there.
Yeah,
Really
I guess
wanted to.
that's a good plan.
Well, you do see a helicopter is actually leaving Field Tower and speeding away.
Yeah, I think flying's actually pretty good. After that tower, Max.
You want after the tower or the
Oh,
helicopter?
after the helicopter.
Well, there's
There's something going on in the tower, Nate. We left our Choa up there.
Ochoa's gone. He's been sucked away by the Quilpoth.
Crud.
And also, inside, Andrew's gonna need your help. Andrew, you were sitting in the waiting room with Derek DeFazio, our skateboarding punk from last episode. DeFazio gets bored after the waiting and heads away. Wanders off back into the city, leaving you. A little bit after he leaves, you hear some heavy footsteps on the tile floor. And you see Blight. Colonel Blight coming around. He's still got that messed up, half wooden, melty looking face. He has a few other of his commandos with him. They are all heavily armed. Blight himself has pretty, like an M60, pretty heavy machine gun. He swings over to you, and he's like, "Well, if it isn't the little dog won't stop sniffing around. I'll have you know I loaded this up with silver just for you." And he opens fire on you.
Could I say that I had my hand on my pistol?
Sure. Let's have you do. I'm gonna have you roll a keep your cool to see how well you handle this ambush. And before you guys consider going after the helicopter, you do hear this chaos breaking loose in the lobby. How'd you do, Andrew?
5.
Okay, you are not ready. Roll one more keep your cool to see how well you handle being machine guns.
Oh my gosh, my dice are not doing well. Not very well at all. 4.
Okay, you are armored up though, right?
Not anymore. Not right now. I'm not in wolf form.
Oh, okay. You're gonna take 1 level of harm. Maybe like you hurl yourself back and you get some bad bruises as these bullets rip into the lobby ahead of you. So yeah, you guys hear this crazy amount of gunfire. What are you doing?
Okay, that's probably Andrew as well. Unfortunately, we can't go after the helicopter, Max. I know, I'm sorry, I really wanted to go after that too. But we gotta help our friends. Acquaintances, more like. But yeah, we gotta help them.
Oh yes, they can't pay their debts.
You've known Andrew for quite a while now.
A few days, weeks.
You've been in several intense battles with him. All right, go ahead, continue.
Anyways.
But yeah, I'm not really a fighter. But you know that. So go ahead, Max. Go for it.
And Max will head in.
I'm right behind you, buddy.
I'm sure you are.
All right, Max, you're seeing this barrage unloading as Andrew is maybe scrambling to shelter. What do you do?
I'm going to. Do you want me to roll the keep your cool or?
They're not really focused on you right now. They're not shooting at you. They're
All right.
concentrating all their fire on Andrew.
Well, then, since I'm going to go into battle, I'm going to roll going into battle, and that'll be another 14. So I get to hold 3.
Woof, that's some high rolls tonight.
Except for me.
Just right now.
Yeah. I'll let you go ahead and do one more thing there.
In that case, is there anybody else other than Blight there, or is it just Blight?
It's Blight, maybe like 4 of his commandos, and Andrew. They clear out the lobby, so nobody else. Nobody get caught in the crossfire. Oh, sorry. Actually, those Fellowship of Faith protesters are like kind of charging in. They're pretty stunned by this whole thing. A few of them are starting to like throw, bricks and whatnot at the commandos, but they're not doing too much.
Okay. Well, he'll grab a piece of furniture and chuck it at the commandos and whatever's nearby.
Okay, are you trying to hurt or trying to like distract him just to let Andrew get away?
Just to hurt him. He's not very much of a distracting kind of guy. He distracts it in other ways with temptations.
Okay, why don't you roll Unleash an Attack?
With blood, that'll be a 9.
Okay, so what would you pick for your top one? Terrible harm or taking something from them?
Let's go with taking something from them. And so for that, it'll be probably their mobility. If I threw something heavy enough to land on them.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I know they got ranged weapons, but at least they can keep them in place.
Yeah, I mean, they have like these big, ultra-modern, heavy, angular chairs. You just like pelt one, smashes into Blight, knocks him down. Like a bunch of bowling pins. So what are you going to pick for your lower one? Take some harm, maybe like you catch up some shots from them, or be in a bad spot?
I'll find myself in a bad spot.
Alright. I will say the bad spot is that Blight has lots of like monster fighting weaponry on him. One of which is like a weighted kind of hand crossbow. As he goes down, he pulls it out and shoots. It flies over and like stabs through your leg. Not enough to hurt you, but it does like kind of pin you to the ground.
Okay.
So you're sort of trapped there in the open. Andrew, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I don't have that with me. Well, be a little conspicuous to have Excalibur on me. I would just sort of I'm guessing we're just sort of making our escape, so...
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, I'll head over to Max, get the bolt out, and start going.
Okay. Why don't you give me escape the situation?
Sure. There we go.
Nice.
11.
Okay, you dash right out, and I'll have you roll one more time. I'll have you roll lend a hand to pull Max along, to rip that spike out of his leg there. He roll with his faction knight, I think.
Knight, okay. Okay, 7.
Ooh, all right. That's enough. So what does it look like? How do you like get it out of there, or do you just like pick him up?
I think I dash over. Yeah, break the bolt and just pull him out. This is gonna hurt.
He just shrugs.
Or
You
not.
guys, so you dash outside. Just then, some rescue arrives. A brilliant red sports car comes zooming down the sort of the cul-de-sac where the tower is, brakes hard to a halt right in front of you guys, and you see in the driver's seat, it is Miss Pruitt. And she takes out a machine pistol, fires off into the lobby of the tower just for cover, and says to you, "Come with me if you want to live."
Everyone's quoting movies now.
Oh, I didn't think that she'd watch Terminator.
I didn't think she watched movies.
What?
Look, movies might be the devil's work, but Terminator is very quotable. Now get in. You guys hop inside?
Yeah.
Alright, she gets the gas and speeds off and starts zooming down through the street.
See, that was a fine rescue. I didn't even have to get my hands dirty.
I love not having a silver weakness anymore. It's so nice.
Mr. King, I see you got my note.
I did.
Well, I'm glad you arrived. We can certainly need the help. You saw what was going on with the Quilpoth?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's now possessing fields.
Ugh. Well, I have bad news. It's going to get worse.
Of course it is.
Did Field mention anything to do with the president?
No, I think that might be a new one. Did he?
He did. He said he's meeting with Reagan today.
With Reagan. Oh no. I see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try and get the Quilpoth into Reagan.
Yeah. That is exactly what I was afraid he was going to do. If he does that, Reagan will certainly trigger World War III. The Quilpoth would love that. They crave emptiness, just life, existence, just things being there is an affront to them against their entire nature. If this world was just a big blackened radioactive cinder, they would think that was, in the parlance of the times, rad. They've got to be stopped.
Alright.
From what I've been able to tell from looking at Fellowship of the Faith and their upcoming events, Reagan's at Angel Land right now, doing their prayer for their prayer summit. We have to get there, and we have to stop Field from reaching them. There is some hope. I'll leave you there, and then I'm going to go and contact another old friend, Captain Diego.
Hey.
He's been floating around fighting evil for so long. And if anyone can do something with the Quilpoth, we fought them before. He may have on his boat some magical chest or means of binding them and trapping them. So I'll contact him and get him to help. What you need to do, actually 2 things. You gotta find some way to stop Field from corrupting Reagan. And also, and then here you can tell she's pausing and she's getting a little worried about it. It's very strange because from what you know, Miss Pruitt's a pretty emotionless Puritan monster hunter, but there's some actual emotion on her face now. I want you to stop Reverend Kettle's crusade. I've been with him for a few years now, and whatever religion he has, he can call it Christianity, but it's not my faith. And even that, there was so much hate back in those days in Salem. I mean, I thought I left it behind, and I sort of find it here, but, well, you wouldn't see, Cotton Mather spending all his congregation's money on private jets in a theme park. Whatever his flaws were. Anyway, I want you to find some way to make Kettle stop what he's doing. To the House of Titania, to the Skeleton Crew, to everybody. It needs to end. And
That's gonna be tricky.
yeah, especially since I already submitted my resignation. So, I leave it up to you.
Great.
How did you get rid of the Quilpoth?
It was... Well, she's like... You can tell she even more pain is in her eyes now. It went into me. It possessed me and turned me into something that was less than human for several centuries, and I wandered the world, eventually settled in Los Angeles, and I became the Angel, which is where you found me. But Captain Diego may have another way of handling it. It might not be... He might not be able to banish it, but he can contain it. I think you saw some of that happen before with the Nightmare. That spirit in Atlantic City that sort of stole it away.
Ah,
Hopefully,
Gotta
Captain
trap
Diego
it.
is powerful enough. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
we gotta trap it in the box. Or
Captain
a
Diego,
box.
he's powerful enough to have something like that aboard his ship. But it's going to take time to contact him, and if you guys can't stop the Quilpoth from taking Reagan, it won't matter because he'll trigger that. We'll trigger World War III, and we'll all be gone.
So when I gave you more of the Quilpoth in Los Angeles, it didn't help you.
No, I'm afraid it doesn't work like that.
Alright, so we got our objective. Get Fields to call off his crusade and stop Fields from possessing Mr. Reagan.
You always did have your eye on the ball, Gantre.
Just trying to figure out how best to play this off. I bet the way to deal with Fields is a huge donation. I mean, that's how I got in the last
Okay.
time.
Could be useful. At this point, she pulls to a halt in front of the parking lot for Angel Land. This big theme park sprawling in the distance. And she's like, well, here we are. I'll pray for you.
Well, that's as much as gesture as we get from you. I mean, thanks. Seem to have really changed.
And then she gives you kind of a funny look, and she's like, well, you know what, Igantre? I think you did too.
Maybe? I don't know.
I will
It's
say-
strange, isn't it?
You seem less of a dick than you were in the stories that I've heard.
Less of a dick.
Yes.
You mean I was a dick?
Kind of, yeah. So according to my grandparent.
I mean,
grandmother.
what could I have done for people to call me a dick?
I'm sure the list is long.
Eh,
So outside, you see Calvin Candle and Lady Laura of the House of Titania, who are outside the main entrance, kind of arguing, unsure whether to go in. Beyond that, you can see the amusement park is packed. So as you approach, Lady Laura and Calvin notice you and mention you over.
Alright. Laura, Calvin, nice to see you here. I assume you know what we're dealing with?
Lady Laura's like, last I know, you had some kind of a dogfight outside my house. Then, someone stole my picture, my portal, replaced it with another. Look, right now, I don't know what the fuck to believe.
Yeah, that was kind of my bad. I didn't actually realize Fields was that cunning. I mean, seriously, you thought you're honey dicking one guy, but then he honey dicks you, and it's like, crud.
I thought the term was hoodwinked. Nothing.
I mean, you know how power attracts and everything. I mean, come on. I've been doing this for centuries, man.
Lady Laura's like, well,
Calling kettle.
speaking of that, I know this isn't exactly my kind of place, but Calvin says he might be able to get through to his dad, and maybe you can help, so I brought him over here.
Probably have a better chance than we do.
Calvin's like, well, not so sure about that, guys. I'll bring you over to him, and see what we can do. Maybe. So you really think you can make him stop this?
We kind of have to, according to Miss Pruitt. We have to stop both sides. We have to. You have bigger fish to fry, I think.
All right. Well, come on. If my dad's not on stage, I have an idea of where it could be. And he leads you in. All right. So, let me describe kind of the situation here. Inside, Angel Land is packed. It isn't every day there's a presidential prayer summit. The crowds have assembled on the midway, waiting in the spring sun before a podium, where Secret Service guys are already setting up. The rides wail and shriek, the flashing lights adding to the gleam of the sun, as cheerful rock and roll echoes over the entertainments. Reverend Ed should be warming up the crowd, but he's nowhere to be found. The audience munches cotton candy and corn dogs impatiently, covering everything in a haze of sticky sweetness. And then, we already covered Lady Laura and Calvin are watching things over. Alright, so, Kettle leads you through the crowd. Calvin brings you to the studio where the Fellowship of Faith's annual Sunday service is televised, and brings you inside. Right now, the place is like totally empty. There's a huge stadium. Seats are all empty. At the stage, like the set's all laid out. This kind of sort of corn pone, countrified style, like fake trees, bales of hay, that kind of thing. Like an evangelical hee-haw. And it has one occupant, Reverend Ed Kettle himself, who is all dressed up in his televangelist finery, just sort of sitting on the end of the stage looking dejected and alone. This very cheery music.
Well, we are an amusement park, so come on.
Oh, totally.
Well, Calvin, there's your dad. You have anything to say to him?
I guess.
It's alright, Calvin. I'll help you out. In fact, we'll all help him out, right? I mean, poor kid with his dad as he is. They definitely need to talk this out.
So he walks over and he's like, Dad, this has to end. This crusade, this weird war you've got, this whole ministry. I mean, you can call yourself a man of faith, but it's really just about, like, pumping up your wallet. And from what I've seen, and from what I've heard about your troubles with the IRS, even that isn't working. And Reverend Ed looks up and he's like, I just wanted to bring people to God and, make a little for myself on the way and make a little for you and the other people I loved. Come on, is that such a sin?
I believe according to the Bible, yes.
What would you know about it?
I mean, I was taught a little bit. I may not believe it, but I was taught it.
And now, well, at least you're sort of here. Well, I guess just to laugh at me, Calvin. And Ginger Ray is gone, and it's all falling apart.
Honestly, Reverend, if you were truly a man of God, you realize you've done wrong. And now is the time to make things right. Redeem yourself in the eyes of the Lord. You know what's right. Stop the killing.
Maybe. Just then, you hear some footsteps on the edge of the stage. You look up and you see Ginger Raykettle, a.k.a. Virginia Hill, walking her way in. But she definitely looks different. Her eyes have gone totally dark. She's still wearing, like, you know, the churchly, like, all-white televangelist outfit and has, like, lots of makeup, crazy profusion of eyeshadow, the huge hair. But she is just, like, aglow with something that isn't even her usual vampire energy. As she stretches towards you, like, her mouth opens up and her hands stretch out, and you can see the Quilpoth, like, building up inside of her. And these spiky insects starting to, like, spread out.
That's not good.
What do you guys do?
What do I got?
I recklessly get her out of there. I dash towards her and just sort of try and get her away from everything.
Okay, let's see. I mean, you're not aiming to hurt her, I would think.
Not at this point.
So probably unleash an attack isn't the right one. Maybe give me... maybe this is yeah, that's probably mislead, distract, or trick. Maybe you could, like, create an opportunity for your allies so you pull this off.
Okay, 9.
Okay, so you're picking 2.
I will expose a weakness and create an opportunity.
Okay. So, are you trying to carry her, like, out of the whole studio, or...?
Yeah. Just get her away. She's not obviously not herself. I just want to get her away from everyone. So.
Okay. So you, like, charge her out. You run out of the building. You go into the lobby. Maybe, like, you sort of drive her into, like, a soda machine that's there.
Mm-hmm.
You smash her into that. New Coke starts, like, raining out, spilling everywhere. And you realize that you don't have the power necessarily to, like, stop the Quilpoth.
Mm-hmm.
Best you can do is find some way to, like, freeze her. And then you gotta let Captain Diego take care of it when he gets here.
Gotcha.
Freeze, you say?
So, yeah. Max? Do you want to pop in, Max, or is there kind of...
Yeah. If he has her pinned, he'll quickly make his way over to her. Gotta pick the right move, because it's persuading. I'm gonna try to persuade an NPC using promises or seduction. So let me see. Is it alright if I roll to see how good it'll be, so I can say what I say, or that way if it's, I don't want to say something smooth and then the dice betray me.
Okay, I see how you mean.
If
Yeah,
that's
well, you
okay.
can go ahead and roll first. Yeah.
So I'll be using persuade an NPC via irresistible. So that is a sorry, persuade an NPC is which one?
Heart.
It's usually
Heart.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of
Well, on a 7 through 9, which with heart
Counts as
it is a 7, so it counts as a 10 plus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So so using promises or seduction, it counts as a 10 plus, and the 10 plus would be persuade an NPC. So yeah, so he'll walk up to her and he'll call her by her actual name, not Ginny or Virginia or whatever name he's using.
Right, the Atlantean.
He'll come up and whisper in his ear, and he'll, or in her ear. I mean, maybe loud enough for Andrew to hear it, but he walks up and grabs her by the nape of the neck and says, "Cassilia, I failed you once, and everything trying it's just made everything worse. But I promise, if you fight this, I will make this right." So his promises. Yeah, so he's using promises, not really seduction.
That's fair. Yeah, you can tell she's definitely like using her true name. That like really gets through to her. She like shudders. She blinks a few times and like opens her eyes, and they are the usual color. The darkness of the Quilpoth is gone for the moment, and she's like, I'm doing what I can. I know I got the strength there inside of me. I just need to. You can help me hold on just a few minutes more. I'll see if I can beat this back.
Which type of vampire is she? Does she feed on blood, emotion, or?
She's the same kind as you are.
Okay. Then he will give her permission to feed, as part of to keep her strength up.
Ooh. All right, this is an intense moment. I'm having you really keep your cool.
Keep your cool is actually with me. I'm cold-blooded, so it's blood. Because that would have been a 5, and now it's an 8.
All right. You are going to take just one level of harm. So you're the faint, maybe.
Okay.
And yeah, you can feel she takes. She's not totally in control of her faculties right now. She takes maybe a little more than you expected. But like with that, she's got some renewed strength. And she like stands up and stretches a bit. And she's like, she faces all three of you and says, "All right, I can hold on for a little bit more. Tell me you've got some way to get rid of this thing."
We have something coming. It's just gonna take a little bit for 2 people to get here.
Well, she was the one going to get him.
Well, yeah.
No, it's Miss Pruitt that was getting.
Oh, it's Miss Pruitt. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 people are coming. On a ship.
I'll pretend I know what that means.
That's fine. You'll know it when you see it. But until then, hang on for a couple more minutes while we go save the president.
Okay.
Where is he?
I'll go put myself in the green room or something and just try and hold on.
If it's okay with you, I'd like to count that as a moment of intimacy with
Oh yeah, 100%.
with Hill
Yeah.
or with Casselia.
Casselia.
And so for that, it says, unless I want to owe them a debt, I have to share them a secret of myself. So he'll lean forward and he apologizes. And as he says it, he says, "Maxim says he's sorry," which is his. So he reveals to her his true name.
Whoa. I think this is a Generation Shadow first. Have we ever heard Max King's, or AKA Max Koning's real name?
No.
Wow. She's like,
It's actually ancient Sumerian.
wow. She probably says, like, just to you, maybe even psychically. She's like, I told myself your apology would be meaningless, but I told myself that for centuries. But now that I've heard it, it was not meaningless. And then she heads off to the green room. Reverend Ed pokes his head out and like looks at you three, and he's like, "You guys just saved my life back there."
Yep. See,
So-
we're not all bad.
So what do you say to the supernaturals?
Well, thank you, and I'm sorry. And he motions for like Calvin to join him, and he's like, You were right, Calvin. This crusade, all it did was unleash a whole lot of hate and just make everything worse. Didn't even help me with my funding problems. So I'll ask you three. You seem to have your you know what you're doing.
Sure.
What should I do now?
Where's the president?
He like checks his watch. He's like, "Oh no, I think I lost track of time. He should be already out there on the stage."
Shit.
And Field said to meet with him there.
Dang
it.
Crud.
Can I see if I can extend my senses to see if I can hear either Fields or Reagan?
You don't really need to,
Okay.
because you hear outside, like, the speakers are going up. You can hear them, like, kind of chatting, like, to everybody in the amusement park.
Dang it. That's gonna make things difficult.
Well, we're going to have to go up there anyway, so let's go up and meet the president. Come on, you know you guys always wanted to do that.
Sure.
All right, you guys head outside. You join like the back of the audience. Right now, you see, they're there, they're there facing the crowd. President Reagan and Julian Field stand together on the podium. Reagan's just finished up his speech, and he's swaying slightly, sweat mingling with the hillocks of wrinkles on his forehead. Field's eyes flash obsidian as the two trade jokes the adoration of the crowd. Now, Mr. President, I know you're a bit of a thrill seeker. Field gives him his best smile. Just take a look at your career. You got that right. Oh, I gotta do my best Reagan impression here. You got that right, Reagan agrees. I remember when I rode a galloping horse against a horde of outlaws. Or maybe that was a western. Well, how'd you like the biggest thrill Angel Land has to offer? The Seraphim Screamer. Field gestures to the roller coaster behind them. Let's you and me give it a whirl, huh? And leave these Secret Service bozos here. That way we can have a private chat while we hit the loop-de-loops. He winks. Unless you're chicken. Young man, Reagan replies, that sounds swell. They head together to the entrance of the Screamer, leaving you with one question. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president?
Well, are we bad enough dudes?
Let's do it.
You have to ask.
I mean, I assume yeah, because no one's moving. Let's go! I'm running in.
Okay.
No, I was already gone as Max King was doing, and I was already headed over there.
Unfortunately, getting through the crowd takes you a little bit. Reagan and Field get to the Seraphim Screamer before you, board one of the carriages. Just as you approach the entrance to the roller coaster, which is it's a kind of a little lobby area with all sorts of glowing, angelic, lots of fun neon angel statues, or animatronic angel statues, sort of waving hello and playing harps to everybody. You see a rear guard set to stop you. Colonel Blight and his men are there once more.
Oh. Well then.
And Blight is like, we have orders to terminate you on sight.
I'm rushing
You
towards
got-
trying to get past him.
All right, do a keep your cool.
Oh no! Come on.
How do we do there?
5.
Keep his cool.
All right, here's the
Really
thing.
can really help with that.
As you charge towards them, you didn't realize they had set some traps for you. Bear traps. Maybe they used some enchantment.
There's kids here.
Well, the whole park's sort of shut down. Also, they're an amoral evil corporation. They're possessed by some crazy eldritch demons from another dimension. They don't care about that. So yeah, your foot falls into one of these bear traps. You're gonna take maybe one harm as the jaws slam shut on you. Egantre, what are you doing?
Well, do you have plus more armor for heading in
Well,
right
all
beside
their attention
do,
is
so-
currently...
Oh, okay. You
them?
need to
So
worry
it's
about
not
that.
then?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Egantre.
All their attention is currently on Andrew, and I trust Max to get them both out of the situation. So if you excuse me, I'm going to, just slip
Yes,
on
I'll
by.
go do what I do.
And I'll do what I do. I'm using Cowardly.
What?
Cowardly, the sneak blam, for an 8. So it's basically a skip situation. So on a 7 through 9, I choose 2. So I'm going to end up in another dangerous situation, and I'm going to give in to my base nature and my corruption. As I slip on by the guards, and what was his name again? I keep forgetting.
Blight?
Blight.
Yeah, Colonel Blight.
What a face guy.
He was not wooden face until he met you.
I'm not even going to dignify him with a response. I'm going right by him and onto the coaster. Hopefully to head off Mr. Fields and Mr. Reagan.
Okay. But here's the dangerous situation you go right into. you settle down. They're I'm not sure what's the word for like those little what you sit in a roller coaster that goes through it. The compartments, carriages, carts,
Probably cart.
carts. Yeah.
Cart.
I mean, they say keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. I guess.
Yeah.
So you hear that like keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. That little lever like holds you in, comes down into place. Angel Land, unlike a lot of 80s amusement parks, very big on safety. I could have made this a whole action park situation, if you were familiar with that one. And it'll hold you in place, and you realize you are not alone in this one. You look over and you see a new friend sitting next to you with no head. It is the ghost of Aratsachoa,
Oh boy.
who is corrupted by the Quilpoth.
Alright.
You can tell he looks even worse than usual. He's got like, I mean, usually it's just a weird headless glowing corpse, which is pretty disturbing. But now he's got those Quilpoth like all over him, like flies in a corpse, just sort of like burrowing into his dead, translucent flesh.
Oh boy.
And his like gone from the nose up face just like turns over and stares at you as you zoom off.
Alright, so, you remember who I am, right?
He raises a ghostly hand for your throat.
Okay, I've had that response before, but we can talk this over.
Max, what are you doing?
So the crowd dispersed yet, or are they still kind of in the way between him and
The crowd?
yeah?
Oh, you're all kind of off to the side of the crowd. They were like more in the audience, sort of watching Reagan give his speech. Reagan and Field kind of slipped away from all of them, went to the roller coaster.
Okay.
So the roller coaster in like the lobby right now, it's really just you, Blight, the bear traps, and poor Andrew.
All right. Then he's going to go into battle with them. For that, of course, this time I roll well.
Ooh, just when you need it.
Yep. So on a miss, I hold 1, but I take a -1 going forward. Well, actually, it's a 6. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. So I hold 1 and take a -1 going forward into the fight. But I'll go ahead and spend that 1. Do you have Colonel Blight and his men? Or
Yeah.
just Colonel Blight?
It is him and his men. He's got like a squad of like 6 commandos.
Okay. In that case, I will cross the distance to any character outside of my reach before they have any time to adjust or react. So what that looks like basically is, as Max King is standing there just behind Andrew, I'm assuming, you see under his trench coat and everything that he's wearing just kind of like a sparkle of almost like lightning, and then he just appears within Colonel Blight and his men in the apex position as if they were protecting him.
Whoa.
So right in the middle. And then if I can, he'll unleash an attack, since they were expecting him to be there and he's now here.
Oh, absolutely.
But that is still a 7. So that is going to be... I will inflict terrible harm, and I'll let them inflict harm on me, I guess. Because I'm already in a bad spot, so I don't think you can pick that one.
Oh, yeah.
So for that, that's going to be...
Yeah, what's the total harm you're doing to Blight?
Well, this counts for the... Since his go-to is the Jotun Axe, will be the 3 messy harm plus cold damage, and then the extra terrible harm.
So that's 6 harm total?
Yes.
Woof. Blight's not looking good. How do you think you just like bring it right down to his shoulder?
Yeah, he just appears there, and as he appears, he just spins the Jotun Axe down and brings it right into him, cleaving on his wooden side.
Yeah, it sinks pretty deep. So Blight, like, he takes the blow, it's going right in, he sort of falls down, he does fire at you, which is why you're going to take some harm.
Okay.
So you can take one more level of it as he like gives you a big burst with his gun. And the shots tear through your undead flesh. The others are still pretty much focused on you. So, Andrew, you got a little bit of respite. What are you doing?
Like it.
Let's see. I think I still have. Yeah. So I'm gonna use Sun and Moon transform.
Rip the trap off of me and just leap forward.
Whoa. Yeah, you just you wrench it open. Are you going to try and get by them, or are you attacking?
I know where Ochoa is, and I get the feeling he's in trouble, so I'm going over them and towards it.
Okay. Can you escape a situation?
Let's try this again. 6.
Can I
Oh,
lend a
no.
hand by yelling him, "Go! Don't worry about me, just go!"
Ooh, yeah, that can be like a lend a hand. If you want it to be. I can see that.
And what's your... Are you knight as well?
Whoa.
Ah,
The box cards.
I could have used that a while ago.
I know. Alright, so it's a 7. You get to pick,
I get to roll with knight.
choose 2. So there's 2 problems as you go past them.
Okay.
I'll owe Max a debt, and
So you get to enter the web if you weren't there already.
Oh, I already am.
He's there.
I haven't gotten rid of the debt. I haven't talked with Rose yet. And I'll leave something important behind. Let's see. Yeah.
no, I said that I didn't have Excalibur with me before, so I haven't had a chance to get it. I had the idea of having Scraps and Spike get it for me before getting to the.
Okay, you can do...
So
You think that happened?
if you're allowed.
Yeah, that's fair. You can go ahead and roll. I mean, you all have, like, big 80 cell phones. I'm sure Miss Pruitt has one.
According to my sheet, I have a pager. So.
Alright,
So
why don't you...
Unless
We
Miss
both
Pruitt,
have cell phones.
Yeah,
So
okay.
You would have been.
Why don't you kind of, like, retcon to control your pack and have them bring Excalibur to you?
Sure. How does that work? I don't know how that works.
Is there a move to, like, inflict your...
I don't know. I don't know where I would find the pack stuff, the information on the pack.
Well, if anything, I think you'd be hitting the streets, right?
Yeah, why don't you
You're
hit the
telling them to hit
streets?
the streets,
Mm-hmm.
basically for you.
What is that?
14.
Wow.
Okay, you definitely have Excalibur.
Damn it.
You brought it with you, but now you looked behind.
Yeah.
Alright, you think it just, like, maybe falls out of you, like you had on a strap along your shoulder and it just kind of falls off as you dash by?
Yeah, I think I didn't take into account my transformation when I strapped it to me, and so I think as I was transforming it, the strap snapped.
Ooh.
And
Alright, you hear Excalibur kind of clink to a halt. You might... Oh, actually, you were there when they stole it from the first time, so you know what it is. Alright, let's go back to our poor Montolio.
Who's currently being choked out.
just in case.
Yeah, in fact, it's even worse than that. He is using his habit of, like, ripping people's apart by tearing out their organs, going for what he sees as, or what Ochoa knew as your strength, your tongue. So yeah, you can feel that getting, like, pulled out of your mouth as you start zooming along this terrifying roller coaster.
You got
You don't need to act. I really appreciate your commitment to the bit there. It's
Damn.
amazing.
I could do it.
It's okay.
Okay, I won't speak in tongue. So I'm just gonna try and appeal to Ochoa. Ochoa, you gotta remember me. I'm your, well, Yes, I am your friend. And you gotta remember, it's not just all of us here. Your daughter. If we don't stop Fields, your daughter is going to die in nuclear holocaust, man. We got to stop this for all of our sakes. And I'm going to cash in the one debt I have on Archoa to get a +3 of persuasion.
Okay.
Hey,
Let's see what happens.
this is a +6 altogether. So that is a 15.
Whoa. All right, yeah. Mentioning his daughter, that's definitely the trigger to make him like remember who he is. He like pulls back. Your tongue once again safely settles into your mouth.
Oh, thank you. It's my
And-
one thing I got, man.
He starts to like dissipate and flicker away.
Hopefully I'll see you again, buddy. But until then, we gotta stop this train. It's alright if I do one more thing.
Yeah.
I still have the one what was it? Yeah, I don't have my leverage anymore, but I still have a debt on Julian Fields. I'm gonna cash in that debt to use Scales of Justice on him. So I'm going to use Wild Fury, 3 harm, far, or something like that. I'm basically gonna freeze the coaster. Center
Ooh.
around Julian Fields.
Okay. All right. So you can so you use that. You can see their vehicle up ahead, like zooming towards the first of those big loop-de-loops that make up the Seraphim Screamer. You cast that spell. What does it look like when you're sending out that power?
It's going to center on Julian Fields. It's going to be like a giant hailstorm and pelting the coaster. And him, of course.
Okay.
Nature's fury freezing the entire coaster. No rides are coming in.
All right. With that power, we're able to sort of like freeze the wheels. It starts like as it's going up one of those big loop-de-loops. It sort of stops, so it's kind of at a sloping angle, and you see Reagan is like, "Whoa, it got very cold all of a sudden."
Get down, Mr. President!
Huh? Who are you? Field is like, that guy is a sleazy, despicable, anti-business, demon-worshipping, werewolf best friend having lunatic who is after you, sir. You stay right there.
That is a lie. Only half of my friends are werewolves.
Mr. Irons, kindly take care of him. You see also in that roller coaster, somehow you didn't see him earlier, the huge hulking form of Mr. Irons.
How many people are riding this ride?
I mean, they're in a separate vehicle. It was just you and one. They're pretty far ahead of you on the coaster.
Bang.
You got a big, several lengths of track between you and the president's vehicle. Mr. Irons hops out. He has a grenade launcher in his hand, which he raises up to open fire at you.
Okay, so I'm going to be falling again.
Max, what are you doing? You're still battling it out with Blight.
Yes. Well, he'll do what he's good at, unleashing more attacks with the Jotun-Axe, since he's literally surrounded by all of them. And that will be that's 11 on the die, plus 3 is 14. So on a 12 plus, I did take an advancement. So on a 12 plus, my target chooses. They either surrender completely to me, or I incapacitate them. So
Ooh.
you get to pick which one Blight does.
Oh, I think Blight would definitely surrender. He's an opportunist. So how does it look like? Like you're pulling back the axe to finish him off, or?
So he'll pull, as he pulls back the Jotun-Axe, which is dripping with the cold, he'll just let that lightning that we've seen before kind of flow through him, and he raises it up again, and he tells him to yield.
Okay, Blight holds up his fist, and he's like, stand down, stand down. and his men freeze up.
Max is also an opportunist. Fight with Fat on my side now, and let's go save this president, and I'll make sure that your part of this is glossed over.
Ooh. Blight's like, if part of my face wasn't frozen into a grotesque wooden rictus, I might smile. Let's have you roll persuade.
We'll do irresistible again
Yeah,
because
gives
he
you
is
promises,
doing with promises.
Absolutely.
As he says, besides, there's nothing my organization can use with some tactical minds.
Ah.
And that'll be a 10 without even adding my. That's hard, right? So
okay.
11. So, yep. So I succeed. Well, sorry. So I'm persuading. So yeah, on a hit, they do what I ask.
Whoa. Okay, so Blight like stands up. He kind of like wedges his wooden limb that got shorn a little bit back into place. He's like, Mr. King, I'd be honored to join your team.
I'll mark corruption, and he puts his hand on his shoulder.
Oh, you're just gonna feed on.
and heals it.
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna be like, "Welcome to the team," feed on him. But you're actually a good boss.
So when he puts his hand on him, that electricity that's on his hand actually flows out and goes into the wood, and just the electricity stitches itself together.
Okay. So yeah, so he's definitely healed up a bit, and he's
But
like,
he heals 2 of the 6 that I did. Yeah.
he's better than he was. He's like, well, there are certainly. I mean, I have numerous connections in Latin America, in the government. I'm sure there's all sorts of ways I can be useful. I just want to remind you of one thing. Isn't this the face of a man you can trust? Well, sir.
We'll see what we can do about that as well.
Well, sir, what should we do right now?
Right now, we move. Keep some of them here to. No, well, is there anybody else other than you?
No.
All right, then no rear guard. Old school style. We attack.
Okay. They
And
charge
grabs
him.
the Excalibur as
Oh yeah.
we walk forward.
All right, you get Excalibur. You catch up to Andrew. So Andrew, the one that Montolio took, already zoomed off. There is another vehicle. They all have like a cool angel design with the wings off to the side a little bit. Do you pop in that one?
How far away would they be?
It'll probably take you like maybe just a minute to zoom up to them. His is currently still going. The one the president is frozen.
So, just so I can visualize, so there's Fields and the president in one, and then
Montolio alone
is
in another.
You can see this. This is us coming up. And
Yep.
This could possibly be you coming up from there.
And Irons is right here with the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we're back here. Coming up.
So what you're saying is I can't get there on my own in one go.
Probably not in one go, but you want to like run on the roller coaster without a vehicle, just like going right up the rails?
I mean,
That is possible. It is big enough for you to
Yeah.
do that.
yeah, I
You're
figured
a
if
werewolf form and just climb up the side.
Yeah, that was basically the idea. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Just go as fast as possible.
Okay, I won't make you run for like balance or anything. It's big enough. All right, so you're charging down. You'll be at Egantre pretty soon. Is there anything you like want to do on the way? Maybe like, I know he has Excalibur.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
You could throw it to you, perhaps, or
Sure what?
Excalibur. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, you're not showing it to him.
I picked it up.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. That'll make things interesting. All right. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that I can really do. I mean, the most I can do is fire my pistol, but I don't think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, probably not. Alright, so you're charging up. Meanwhile, Egantre, I'm gonna have you keep your cool as the first grenade launcher shot lands nearby.
Oh boy. Would this be like a violent threat or intimidation?
100%.
Yeah, cool. Keeping my cool with Dauntless. So that's a -3, so I rolled a 5, but if I miss, I stand my ground as if I rolled a 7 or 9, but my resilience tips my hand. Your opposition learns something valuable about your schemes.
Alright, well, let's take care of the keep your cool first. So, you do stand your ground, you're not blown totally off. Would you say you take some harm maybe from like the, Alright, maybe
I
take
would say
one...
most definitely.
Yeah, like 1 level of harm from the blast. That's the cost.
Right. I have
So what
two
do you-
Grievous right now.
Ooh.
Okay. It's not the first time I've gambled my life away, but I think this is worth it this time.
So is that the information that like
Gamble, yeah.
that he picks up?
Tip it off a little bit.
Ooh. Alright, so Field, like, you can tell, like, he holds up his hand. Mr. Irons lowers the grenade launcher. And Field's like, Montolio! Buddy.
Don't you buddy me.
Buddy!
You play the game well, I'll give you that. But the game is still going on. I still have my hand in.
Well, speaking of that, I just, my new little friends filled me in on another game that you recently played. And I got something of an offer for you. Now, look, I know our last agreement didn't work out. But hey, business is all about letting bygones be bygones, focusing on the future. Isn't that right, Mr. President? And Reagan's like, what is even... This must be some strange Russian plot that I'm trapped in.
Yes, blame the Russians for this.
Yeah,
Don't worry
feels
about
like, that's right, Mr. President. Anyway, Egantre, the Quilpoth, if you let them take you over like they did to me, they'll extend the same immunity they extended to me, particularly towards a certain party known as Belial. In short, they are more powerful than him. He exists, therefore they are his enemy. They'll make sure that your debt goes away. You'll get your soul back. I mean, they'll be like all mixed up in it. But you know, it'll be like a chocolate chip cookie. They're the chocolate chips, you're the cookie. Sounds delicious, right?
I'm allergic to chocolate.
Okay. Poor metaphor. You more of a snickerdoodle man? Anyhow.
I'll tell you what, Fields. Sure, the Quilpoth can possess me. But you're gonna have to play me for it. If you win, sure, I'll go along with it. But if I win, the Quilpoth leaves you and leaves this planet entirely.
He thinks about it and he's like,
You're a betting man.
you know I am. However, I also know when I'm being set up. And I don't think I forgot about your two little friends. I'll have the Quilpoth take care of them real quick. So he coughs a little bit. The Quilpoth like leave his mouth, billow out in a cloud. A bunch of them fly into one of the decorations of like a giant angel. This is like one of those, seraphim with the big old flaming sword. This giant angel statue like comes to life, flies its way over and smashes onto the roller coaster behind you. So like blocking the path of Max King and Andrew.
Crud.
And he's like, oh, and all of Mr. Irons go as well. Let's have our game be private. Mr. President, you just stay right here. I'll join in with you in a second.
Guys, you have incoming! Big incoming!
And Field walks his way down the roller coaster. His loafer is clicking on those frozen rails.
Alright. Let's do this then. I'll step out and walk towards Fields as well.
Max, you got a giant animated angel statue and a golem with a grenade launcher
Alright.
coming at you. What are you doing?
Well, does this count as a separate battle from the one before, or? Are we still
No,
doing the
it's
same?
all really one
Okay.
crazy fracas.
That's fine. Then I will leave my vigilante moves where they are. Well, his goal will be to catch up to Andrew. So.
Oh, and you do have Blight and his men with you as well.
I'll just So he'll yell concentrate fire on the angel. Sounds weird saying it, but
Yep, this statue. Animatronic. It's like
and
it's like you're declaring war on the Pirates of the Caribbean or the Small World Ride kind of thing. And you know we want to. The Small World Ride dolls, they have it coming. They're constant singing.
And contrary to the joke, when he catches up to him, he will hand him Excalibur,
Ah.
saying, "You drop this."
Thanks.
Not like I was gonna wield it.
All right. The soldiers are like opening fire, unloading into the angel.
I can't roll a spirit.
Fragments of fiberglass are flying everywhere.
Not much better.
You do catch up. Andrew, you have Excalibur now. What do you do?
Let's see what these things does. See if it. Eight. Okay. I can still use Excalibur as a buff, but you must either take 1 level of harm or mark 2 corruption.
You gonna take that deal?
I rolled an 8, so I don't really have. I'll take the corruption.
All right. The sword glows with energy. Those like ancient Arthurian runes start lighting up. What are you gonna do with it?
Let's see. So we got giant angel being shot at right now, and
Yeah,
irons.
Irons is behind him, who's the
Behind
grenade
him.
launcher.
I'm gonna rush Mr. Irons and see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna go straight for whatever core that he has.
Okay. Give me an unleash an attack.
There we go. 13.
Hey.
Wow. All right, so with Excalibur, I mean, I know I wrote it, but remind me, what's the
Before you use it to. Okay. Well, it just says. Have to use a spiritual power to fill the blade with energy before it can be used. Before you use it to unleash an attack, roll a spirit, which I did, which is why I took the corruption. And that's about all that it says. So.
and tell you how much harm it does?
No, I'm guessing it would be a regular sword, which I believe is 2 harm close. Messy?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I know it has like 1 more holy power. It does like extra damage against monsters, which it certainly is.
Oh. It says on the 10 plus. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go.
3 armor piercing, holy armor with an additional holy harm in the target. If the target has a monstrous nature. Oh, I should have gone for the angel. Dang it.
Well, I mean,
Irons is a monster.
Irons is pretty monstrous. He's like an
Oh,
evil
okay.
robot man.
Okay.
He's a Terminator.
Okay.
All right, so that's 4 total. Oh, but you also did you want to do terrible harm or take something from him? 'Cause that could make it a 6 total.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the grenade launcher. Basically,
Oh, okay.
I drive it into him, and just grab the grenade launcher and wrench it from him. And then, if I can, I would like to fire a grenade at the angel.
Ooh, that'll be your next turn.
Okay.
So yeah, you ram it in. The grenade launcher falls into your paw. I mean, his werewolf with the sword and grenade launcher ever appeared, and it's like, I feel like there's some '80s action movie. It's an image that's gonna stick in my brain. So I think we got potential there.
The werewolves on the show do love their heavy weapons.
Oh yeah. All right, Igantre.
Alright, so I'm gonna deal us both out on this little ice table I made for us.
That's pretty cool.
And may the best man win.
He's like, we playing Go Fish?
Huh? Poker.
Ooh, of course, the gentleman's game.
It's a ritual of mine. Gotta do this right if we're playing for what we're playing. So, shake my hand.
He holds up his hand and it's like full of buzzing Quilpoth. He's like, you sure about that?
Yeah? This is between us, Mr. Fields. Two businessmen playing a game for both of our interests. I'd say, let's leave the supernatural out of this. And play as gentlemen, shall we? I'm gonna try and use chameleon on him. I'm performing an important ritual of another faction in their presence, i.e. power.
Ah, okay.
Right. So roll with heart. That's a 7. So I hold 2, and on a hit, all the members of that faction must treat me as if I were one of their own for the rest of their stay.
Okay, he's like, I've always respected you, Montolio. You know what? You're right. We speak the same language. Business language. So he does shake your hand there.
Alright. May the best man win.
Alright, you guys start,
Start playing the game. By the way, Julian, do you want to know how exactly I tricked your great-grandfather?
whoa.
I'm gonna try and throw him off his game immediately by dropping someone's name.
Oh, no, I like that. That's a really cool use of, like, using your character's history to your advantage there.
So when I drop someone's name on someone who owes me a debt, but this is just a move. On a hit, it carries weight. On a hit, their name carries weight and gives me an opening or opportunity. Hey.
Okay, so you gotta roll with his faction. We'll see what happens there.
Roll
With power.
Roll with heart instead of faction.
Ah, cool.
That is a 7.
Ooh.
So you
Alright, you gotta cash in the debt.
Yeah. That's
It
just.
still hits.
It still hits.
It still hits, but you
With
just gotta cash in the
chameleon,
debt.
I have 2 hold, and I spend that hold to drop someone's name, put a face to a name, or investigate a debt. So I got 1 hold left.
Yeah, he definitely, like, dropping his grandfather's name makes him, like, twitch. And then he's like, how dare you? My father built an empire. And he was an American hero murdered in his mansion by a bunch of moonshine swilling hillbilly outlaw scum. How dare you? And as he's doing that, like, you can see his he's not playing as well as he should. And your hand is stronger than his, and you win that hand pretty handily.
Alright. Taking this spot. You're not looking too well, Miss Julian. What's wrong with you?
Deal the cards, another round.
Alright. Meanwhile, hell is going on
Yeah,
all
meanwhile,
around us.
explosions, chaos. Max, I'm gonna have you roll a quick keep your cool as that big angel tries to swing its sword down and smash you.
Okay. Well, I'm cold-blooded, so
Oh.
that'll be a 15.
So this
But
humongous...
on
oh,
a 12 plus, my opposition's cool is compromised.
Ooh,
So I get to tell them what will cost them to maintain their current course of action.
yeah, so what do you think? I mean, it's like a huge
He's gonna
kind
have
of
to drop
animated
that
statue.
sword. He's gonna have to drop that sword to keep his balance.
Oh.
Anywhere near
Yeah, I like
being able
that.
to take me on.
All right, this big, like, decorative sword, neon decorations on the side, smashes down to the side of the roller coaster, and yeah, you can't hold it, so the statue lets it go and just kind of is wedged in there. So what do you do now?
Is it day or night?
I would say it's like kind of early evening
Okay.
at this point.
Just a curious question. So, because I'm going to go ahead and mark corruption, which will fill out my track and give me a corruption move.
Ooh, how far are you away from like?
I only have 5 ticks left, and then I either have to retire. I have to retire my character,
Or he becomes a pure villain. All right.
or they might return as a threat.
Yeah.
So only 5 ticks left.
Okay.
But hey, I'm only 4 ticks away from retiring him to safety, since I just leveled up. But that corruption move that he's triggering is the corruption move that he took back in Vegas, which is just below the surface. So I mark corruption, and he assumes his demon form without rolling, and I gain all of the options listed.
Whoa.
So for that, it's not just partial. He fits the part. As he's fighting an angel, he turns into a demon. And that's complete with spikes, claws for hands, leather wings with chitinous armor, and bright white glowing eyes. And his skin is, say, more of an alabaster to fit the theme. Which will heal my harms.
Nice.
As a bonus there. So, and then I will attack him with a demonic weapon, which will be 3 harm hand. So we've always seen him wielding the Jotun axe. So while he has that in his hand, it kind of, instead of just being the cold, you see that electric spark that he's been channeling just flow through it.
Whoa.
And now it's almost as if it's possessed with lightning, and he will attack the angel.
Okay.
And that will be
It's another pretty amazing roll I can see.
that'll be a 12, which
Whoa.
will be, again, with the advanced move, he either surrenders completely or I incapacitate him.
I mean, this thing is mindless, so probably incapacitate would be the one to go for, I think.
All right. So
How do you destroy this animated statue?
So he flies up with his wings and just sticks the axe in and just cuts him from crotch to forehead and just bisects the angel completely. All animatronics and Quilpoth spilling out.
Yeah, lots of wires. It tumbles down into the shadow.
So basically, like, as I'm like readying the grenade, after I see this, I'm like,
Yep.
okay then.
And you see what you heard about when they told you the stories of Newtown. It's
Yeah.
a gigantic flying vampire bat with spikes.
Okay, the giant angel statue is done.
Who's not bursting into flames?
Yes.
I'm gonna have Mr. Ironson make attack against you and have you real quick keep your cool as it tries to wallop you.
Okay, 9.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna like have this be like the equivalent of a 7/9 unleash an attack. It can either do you 1 level of harm or put you in a bad spot, which will be like he shoves you back and you like fall off the roller coaster nearly, but grip on with your fingers there. So you're like dangling down off the edge.
Well, I have an idea in my head, so I'm gonna take the harm.
All
Actually,
right.
I do have 2 armor.
Ooh.
So in the turtle form, so I don't know.
Do you want to say that? I'll still take the harm, but yeah.
I think did one of those armors go through? I think when your armor is like was taken up earlier, or
That was when I was reckless. I get 2 from my
oh
roll
right,
for-
okay, so you got 1 armor left then.
Yeah.
Okay. So my idea was,
I was going to basically. I'm basically going to try and do what Mr. Irons was doing. I'm going to throw him off the roller coaster, and as he's falling, fire a grenade at him.
Whoa, that's so cool.
The no look.
All right, to do this, I think you got to do unleash an attack. You could definitely take his balance.
Damn it!
How'd you do there?
4.
Okay, this time you are going off.
Okay.
He manages to shove you. You still have the grenade launcher, but you tumble over and you're dangling off to the edge right now.
Thanks God, that's why you gotta be like that.
And he's like walking over to use some finger stomping to make you fall. Egantre, you're on the second hand.
You realize you've already lost, Field.
He's like, wouldn't be so confident until the last card is played.
Nah, the moment you let the Quilpoth into you. I mean, really. I am a dragon myself, but for the past 4 centuries, I've only ever had to rely on this, my own wits. And you surrendered yourself to a supernatural entity. For power. For shame. I thought you were better than this.
Whoa. Were you trying to like taunt him with a move, or?
Nah, I'm trying to appeal to him as his inner businessman. I want him to realize you can get on with your own. You can get by with your own. You don't need these supernatural powers. I'm a dragon myself, but I've accomplished more as a mortal man than I ever did as an overgrown lizard.
He's definitely conflicted. He's like, but the Quilpoth, they offer me so much.
They also offer a nuclear holocaust for everyone. You gotta realize it, Julian. They don't care about you. They never will. But you can stop them here.
Alright, you're going for a persuade there?
Yep. Actually, I'll drop his name again, because I think I had, from the last arc, at least 1 or 2 depths on MC Fields. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's been several months. It's been
That's
half a
nice.
year, so.
But I'll spend the last hold I have to drop his name again. What would your great-grandfather do?
I mean, you realize his great-grandfather was like licking a weird giant earth stone
Yeah, but he doesn't need
to
to.
get its power. Okay, I see your point. Maybe it's the ideal of him rather than the reality.
Alright. If we're adding the drop someone's name, that is a 12.
Okay,
And I'm out of holds.
well, bringing up his grandfather a final time messes up his cards. And because of that, you win the second hand.
Flush.
He like stumbles back for a bit. And he glares at you. And he's like, no, it's not fair.
What's fair is fair. And dropping someone 20 stories, in fact.
Well, that's where you're wrong. You're wailing about like the game being rigged or something. It's all rigged.
And
That's
did
part of
we-
the game.
Did we rig this game? No, I thought we were 2 businessmen playing some cards.
He's like, you can tell like he's really conflicted. He's like coming apart inside.
We did have a deal, Julian. We shook hands. And as your honor as a businessman, I'd say it's time you honor that deal.
He falls to his knees. You can tell like part of him really wants to give up on this, but the Quilpoth are not having it. And they start like ripping their way out of him. They're just like boiling up out of his mouth. And starting to swarm into the air. I'm gonna have you roll a keep your cool to kind of avoid them.
Is this another violent threat or intimidation?
Yeah, I think so. You can do cowardly if you want.
Or dauntless, yeah.
Oh, dauntless is what I was. Yeah.
Holy crap, I might not have needed it. No, I still needed it. 6. But on a hit, it's a 7 to 9, but my resilience tips my hand. They learn something more valuable about my schemes. What is something valuable? Oh, yeah. I don't know, he knows exactly how I lost my immortality.
Right. Well, I mean, I think you kind of knew that already. I think the Quilpoth now are going to know much more about you,
Yeah.
including perhaps like your true name.
No, that's a good. I don't even know my true name. And now they do.
Yep. Pretty bad. But you are able to like hastily take some steps back. Going right over to Mr. Irons and Andrew, as well as Max, who is now walking past the remains of that giant angel. Max, what do you do?
I will. Well, he's dangling, so It's not like he has it well at hand. So he will attack Irons. Just a quick question with Irons. Is Irons just following orders, or does he have the Quilpoth about him as well?
He's just following orders, but he is a mindless construct. A golem or a robot or something like that.
Okay. So then, just the rules question. To feed on something that is, since I have adaptable palate, to feed on something like that, would I need permission?
Could a vampire drink from a robot?
Do I need permission?
You know what? I'm gonna say no. They're mindless. You
Okay.
can just
So that I won't mark corruption.
go ahead, drain C-3PO.
And will attack.
No, he clearly isn't mine. Do not. If you're a vampire, please do not drain the blood out of C-3PO. I don't know.
Oil?
Oil, I guess.
Well, he feeds on emotions, so maybe it's whatever emotions
Yeah,
get
passes.
cast off into him.
That's true. I mean, he is emotionless, but he's like there's sort of agency, order following inside of him. So you can eat that.
So that will be a 8. So on an 8, I get to pick 2. So that would be. I will learn a secret about them, and they don't die.
Okay. The secret you learn is maybe like you get a flash of the various spells that are needed to both sort of create as well as control these things.
Okay.
So you can like make your own golems, or maybe if you roll a high persuade, you can like take him over, take over this golem.
And I'll try to do that on my next turn, unless I can do it now.
Why don't you go ahead and do it now? We'll just do a real.
All right.
Because I figure like this is the Mr. Iron scene, so see if it works.
Let's either persuade him or I try and wrench
Yeah.
him from the roller coaster again.
I'll try to persuade him with, as he's feeding, he'll say, there's not much in here, but there could be. Wouldn't you want something?
Whoa.
How about you choose to come work for someone and choose what you want to do? So he's going to be using Irresistible to persuade, using Promises of Power. And that will be a... I keep forgetting what Irresistible is because I hardly ever use it. That's Heart, right?
Yeah.
So that is an 8.
Which
So-
I believe is a 10 with yours.
Yes,
Is that
with,
yours 10?
for me that's a 10 plus result, so he does what I ask,
Oh.
which is to stop.
Yeah, Mr. Iron stands down, kind of shuts down for a moment, and then sort of like boots up again and is like, facing you. He can't really talk, but you can tell that you're in charge of him now. All right, Andrew, you pull yourself up, but there is a bigger problem further behind you. Yantri has dashed back, but now the totally possessed Field is heading straight towards Reagan. The president still stuck in that stalled roller coaster, just like too confused to escape. So it's up to you.
I will dash forward recklessly.
Oh, and I will say, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but you do see up in the sky a welcome shadow of a flying ship soaring above you all.
Cool. Stalled for enough time.
Alright. So I will dash forward recklessly and try and get between them and sort of see if I can get Fields into a position where he's not going anywhere. So basically, I don't know.
This could be mislead, distract, or trick.
Sure.
Because I don't think you're really trying to do damage to him. Maybe you're more trying to hold him in place.
9.
Okay, you get to pick 2.
Can I help
Oh,
to maybe make that a 10?
Sure. So what do you do to help this werewolf bounding past you?
Alright. I know the ice is still affecting it, so maybe I can melt the ice, you jump on the roller coaster, and just dash on past with Reagan.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay.
If it works for you, Nick.
Sure. Okay.
Alright, so your knight,
Yes.
that's a 12.
Nice. Okay.
All right, so you dash past the ice, you pick up Reagan. He's like, Bonzo? You're so much more wolfish than I remember. Come here, my furry friend. Give me a hug.
Sure, Mr. President.
Come to daddy.
All right, so I guess for the 3, I will confuse Fields for some time while exposing a weakness and avoiding further entanglement.
Okay. Well, you were able to get the president further down, like maybe up the bit of the loop there. And at this point, that great pirate ship floats its way down. You can see all the fish, crustacean, sailor, ghost pirates aboard. That big kraken like floats behind it, reaches down with his tentacles and picks up Field and just like hauls him up. And then on the deck, you can see Captain Diego coming out from the hold with this big treasure chest that is covered in various arcane runes and symbols. And he holds it up, and he's like facing this Quilpoth swarm, and he's like, "Oh yes, I remember you, laddie. Come on in, and we'll sail away yet."
Do you mind if I talk with Julian for just a little bit?
He's like, "You can have him when we're done, mate."
Oh, that's cool.
So
Alright, that
the
works
Kraken.
for me.
Sorry, that was you saying something?
No, I'm good. That works for me.
All right. The Kraken squeezes Field like a sponge. The Quilpoth just burst out of him. And also some more Quilpoth are like flying out from further away, leaving Virginia Hill or Cassilia. All of it flies to the treasure chest. Captain Diego like slams it shut. He looks down at you 3 and like doffs his hat in a salute. And he's like, "Ahoy! I'll be seeing ya." And the ship flies away. So now, Field is collapsed on the roller coaster.
Alright. So, Andrew's alive, Max is alive, everybody's good. Okay. So, Julian, how are you feeling?
He's like 10 different degrees of shit.
Well, you're about to feel even more like shit. Since an outside party interfered in the game that I won, of course, I'm not really getting my prize, so I just thought of something you can give me. Since I did win the game, after all.
He just like stares at you. He's still not quite understanding what's going on.
Nah, it's alright. I already have the document here. You just gotta sign your name, and we'll be on our merry way. And I'll forgive you for everything.
Feels like, you know what? Why not? I gotta rethink my life choices.
Yes, you do.
And he signs away his company to you.
Thank you. Gonna make several dozen copies of this. And don't worry, mate. I definitely forgive you for everything. Everyone else you might want to talk to a little bit, especially those who are in the hereafter. I'll leave that to Archoa. And I'll just walk away. See you on the flip side.
So, you guys head out of the roller coaster. You're taking Reagan with you.
Yeah. I sort of take him sort of like back in to sort of sit him down and be like, "You're all right, Mr. President. I'm gonna see if I can I like see if I can let it out to revert back?
Oh, sure.
Since
I mean, he doesn't really. He's so
Yeah.
confused that he's
Yeah.
really.
I don't have From the Brink yet, so nope.
You're still a wolf.
Yeah.
All right, maybe keep to the shadows a bit.
Nah.
I mean, unless you would allow me to like to use From the Brink like once, use it as if I did From the Brink, and then because for From the Brink on Miss I change, but the transformation is incomplete, lengthy, or painful.
But this is a move you don't have.
It's not at the moment, no.
Okay, no, not
Okay.
quite yet.
That's
yeah,
fine.
you're still in kind of wolf mode.
Yeah.
So maybe hang back a little bit in the lobby.
Yeah.
Max.
And Max will have had Fields brought back with Colonel Blight's men.
Yeah, they all haul them back out. Blight probably needs to be hospitalized for a little, or Field probably needs to be hospitalized for a little bit. Maybe end up in a nice asylum somewhere we can recover.
Well,
Perhaps one where the nightmare is lurking around.
Did the sun set yet?
Yeah, it's pretty much gone down at this point.
Okay. Because he'll just lean forward then, not in his demon form anymore, as they're getting ready to paramedic him away. Or actually, before that, if possible, he'll just lean forward and say, "Run."
Whoa, very tense. He is terrified as the ambulance takes him away. Reagan goes up to you three. Maybe this is further back as you're out, even the wolf form. And he's like, "Gentlemen, Bonzo, you have done your government a great service. If you fellas would like a Presidential Medal of Freedom or something, you can have one. I got tons of them over there at the White House. I give them out to whoever. They're so great. Would you like one?"
Sure, you'll see a kid by the name of Andrew. You'll give it to him.
Whatever you say, Bonzo. All right, well.
Better not say a word about this.
Presidential Medal of Freedom? Yeah, sure, I'll take it.
All right.
I mean, I do have an inspiration to go into politics myself.
Ooh, well, I do recommend it. It's a great job if you can get it. I just wish we could pay those Russians back for what they did. Oh, well. I'll see you boys on the flip side. And with that, he walks over to join the Secret
Old
Service.
people using slang. It doesn't work.
I honestly distasted myself. It felt strange on my lips.
So, you guys are all hanging away. A few things happen.
I would have thought you'd have taken a presidential pardon more than a presidential award.
Oh, Reagan will definitely give you that, too, if you want.
Just to hold it off for another day.
Yeah.
Can I... It's Mr. Reagan.
What?
Can I... I don't suppose you would be willing to pardon someone for past transgressions.
Hey, that is my middle name.
I mean, my good friend Max here just reminded me of that. And I'm sure we can all wipe the slate clean. For
Hey.
all three of us.
Yeah, look. I did to Ollie North. I'll do it for you, man.
Thank you very much.
While we have
Put
your
her
attention-
there, partner.
While we have your attention, we could use a couple of sanctions lifted in the ports of both Los Angeles and Florida.
He's like, you want to be pushing it a little bit there.
But that way you can keep your medal to have just somebody else keep that in your pocket.
All right, well, I'll consider it. Goodbye, gentlemen, and God bless America. Egontre, as you were heading out of the theme park along with everybody else, coming back after a very strange day, nobody really knows what happened. The president just went on a roller coaster ride and then was there for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
But, whatever, it's Reagan. He's okay.
I actually did show... Did I show mercy to Julian Field?
You did. You could have kicked him off that roller. I was kind of thinking you would, but you showed him mercy.
No. So, I actually fulfilled revenge. I get to erase a corruption in advance.
Oh, all right, go for it.
I don't know how that works exactly.
That's
Do I...
this one.
This
So
one?
you erase a corruption.
You erase one of your corruption moves.
Oh, one of my
Those are the
corruption.
advanced, because isn't this when we advance corruption, we mark corruption?
I think that's.
Or is that
I think a
specific?
full advance is.
Yeah,
Oh.
full
Oh,
advance
nice.
would probably be one of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the moves. Because the dragon has something similar with one of his brood.
Well, you do meet Joe Rose, who's waiting for you. Just like they're wearing like an Angel Land like sweater with the hood pulled up, so you can't see too much of what they look like, and like an Angel Land hat. And they just kind of slide behind you, and they're like, "Congratulations, Mr. CEO."
I know the plan got fulfilled without a hitch.
More or less.
Actually, that's a lie. Several hitch. I have no idea how I managed to pull this off.
But are you going to hold up your end of the bargain?
I see no reason not to. I mean, you come here, join the company, keep going for a couple of years, then retire to some far-off island, I would guess.
That sounds like we've got ourselves a deal.
Pleasure working with you.
And they shake your hand.
By the way, how interested are you in politics?
So as you're wandering off, Max, you were met by Virginia Hill, Casilda. She has washed away all that, televangelist eyeshadow and makeup, and slides it next to you. And she's like, Max, even their southern accent starting to fade a little bit. Max, I think I'm done here. I've played the fellowship bout as well as I could. Let's go to somewhere else.
Works for me. Then maybe someday we can get rid of the rest of mine. And his eye goes like half obsidian, and he pushes it back.
Ooh.
What ails me?
Well, that grim news. Well, on a little bit of a happier note, Andrew, you walk out and you see Miss in the parking lot there. Miss Pruitt is there in the sports car, and next to her, kind of glowing and it looks like you can see him but nobody else can, is Captain Diego. They motion for you to join them.
Captain, Miss Pruitt?
And
Sorry about the wolf thing. I tried, but
Diego's like, well, let's just say I knew some of your ancestors and they could be similarly shaggy.
that's true. You did. And that was my great-great-grandfather.
In fact, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Actually, sorry, great-grandfather.
And Miss Pruitt's like, yeah, I also remember Anton Ionescu.
It was
Andre Ionescu. This is Michael messing up.
That's fine.
Andre Ionescu.
Yeah.
And Captain Diego's like, in fact, the three of us fought against the Quilpoth the first time it came around in Salem. It was quite a battle, almost an equal to what happened here.
Right. Yeah, I seem to recall some sort of story.
Well, you're in the stories now, lad. And we just wanted to say that you've held your head high. You've done your family proud. And you've become one of these strange guardians of the twilight, keeping the rest of the world safe, even though they don't quite know you exist, and if they do, they think you belong in their nightmares. Miss Pruitt's like, so we just wanted to say, welcome to the club.
It sounds a little strange coming from you, Miss Pruitt, and I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we're three very strange individuals.
Point.
And with that, we're going to draw our 1980s arc to a close. So for our final moves, I just want to know, we don't need to do those final deaths and factions and so on. I do love these characters. I do hope they return for our finale. So let's talk about what happens to them as the 80s end. We enter the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s before we're going to come back in a week with our final arc, Generation Shadow, Modern Times 2020. So let's start with Andrew. What happens to him?
Andrew sort of continues to he travels around a little bit, working with a few other people around and sort of slightly retracing what Andre did back when, and gains a few other wolves for his pack, and then he's visited by a Welsh dragon.
Whoa.
And they Kerwin asks, I believe you have something that belonged to me at one point, ancient sword, and Andre's like, do you want it back? I'm guessing. Like, yeah, all right, fine. Not really my style, anyways. And gives it back to him.
So finally, Carolyn gets Excalibur back.
Mhm.
All right. How about Max?
Well, Max will leave. Where were we? Maryland.
Mhm.
That's right. And go to. We've already got the West Coast. We've already got the East Coast. So he'll go right smack dab into the center and go to, I'll say, probably Texas,
Oh, okay.
and settle down there because why not? And as he does, he will take use of that wide open spaces and have Colonel Blight, after turning him, have him teach the Kingsmen more tactical ways of doing things, and maybe since they are some of the only ones that have seen his actual true form, we'll have them be his inner.
Oh,
circle.
kind of his Praetorian Guard sort of thing?
Yes.
Cool, yeah, that's awesome.
And I say if it's okay, I know you won the Field's office, but I did have a contract with Lady Lara, so he'll try to go into there's always time when one company's moving in and one company's moving out, that exchange, and go ahead and take that portrait back to Lady Lara.
Oh,
Because
sure.
after all, she can't keep up her end of the bargain if she doesn't have her end of the bargain.
Oh, yeah, she appreciates that. Oh,
Sorry, I forgot.
Andrew, you want to
I
add
forgot
something real
one
quick?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
I do actually end up finding Rose and talk to them about on Max's behalf.
Oh, I see. Kind of making introductions there?
Yeah.
Oh,
So hopefully
cool.
erasing at least one of those debts.
That would make that easier.
Yeah. So hopefully that erases at least one of the debts that I have.
All right, awesome. And then finally, our new CEO. What does businessman, politician Higantre do?
Well, the politician part's gonna start later on. For right now, I think Higantre is just going to refit Delvers Incorporated. Make it more of a altruistic company. Gonna stay in Maryland, help out the communities here, the Skeleton Crew, the House of Titania. Make sure they're all well and taken care of. Have Calvin and his father settle in to their new lives. Hopefully they'll be alright. Was thinking about giving Heather a position in the company.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And settle my debts to Archoa by telling him where Julian is. Those two can settle up their differences themselves. I'm sure it will be a riveting conversation.
Absolutely. I don't think Mr. Field will be long for this world, perhaps.
Hey, I said I was going to show mercy to him. That doesn't mean anyone else will. But
Well,
as we're building up the company, I'm going to make my head into politics. Maybe for a 2020 race. Who knows?
oh man, President Higantre. Hey, he's got my vote. All right, well, with news of presidential politics, we're going to bring an end to the 80s here and get very much excited for, we're going to take 1 week off. We will be back same time 2 weeks from now with Generation Shadow 2020, and I'm still starting to put together right now. We are in interesting times in our world history. I'm hoping to bring some of that through into the show, and we will see all of that next time.
Hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh, I'm sure. I'll give you a little clap for that.
Thank you.
That was awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure and watch us on all the medias. If you're only watching on one and you for another, we're there too. So, going to take a week off. We'll be back here in 2 weeks for something out of the mind of Michael Panush, and we will see what happens. But until then, pull up a chair and make time at the tabletop. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, folks. Vote Higantre 2020.